Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are doing an energy update and reading for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. So if you'd like to contribute your energy in a more powerful way to this reading video, which often allows me to pick up more easily on your vibration and channel more specifically for you both here and in future videos, then I invite you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. Okay, so I'm starting with the traditional tarot cards today. I would love to hear from you in the comments section how you've been doing recently. I feel like after a lot of ups and downs following the full moon that we just experienced, that the energy has begun to kind of ground and stabilize itself again for much of the collective. But of course, we all do have personal, unique experiences. We are placed on certain timelines within certain waves of energy for a reason, to be the transmuter in those places. So wherever you are is perfectly right for you in this moment, even if it's very different from what I'm describing or from what people around you might be experiencing. So let me know how you've been feeling, what's been going on in your world, how you've been experiencing the current energies. Okay, so right away I have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse position and the Justice card in the upright position. So I'm getting the sense that I'm picking up here on possibly, my guides are calling it a small-minded masculine energy, especially if you are someone who considers yourself more so the divine feminine. Now, of course, these labels, divine feminine and divine masculine, apply to energy dynamics, not necessarily to specific physical individuals. So different energies can connect with the same person in multiple different energetic states of being. These could also connect to your internal divine masculine or divine feminine, because we all do have a balance of each internally. But I am feeling that for many of you listening, this is going to be a divine feminine oriented reading. So you will most likely resonate with that label if you've been drawn to this video. I'm picking up on a masculine representing this Page of Pentacles in the reverse position. I'm hearing this is someone blind to your true value, who may have not fully expressed love for you or appreciation for you, but I just keep seeing some kind of cover or shield over their third eye chakra, which of course is the seat of intuition. It's how we see clearly from a spiritual perspective. I'm seeing mountains for some reason, and also snow on these mountains. So that could be resonant for someone. But what I'm getting from this masculine is it's like there's that cover over their third eye. So they don't have clear spiritual sight when it comes to you. They're not seeing you clearly. And I'm hearing this is not a reflection of what you are, because they're not clearly seeing what and who you are in the spiritual realm. I feel something this person did or said, or maybe it was their inaction and things that went unspoken, but something here left you feeling confused. I'm hearing there may have been hot and cold energy from this person. You may have felt devalued in some way, and this may have even caused you to momentarily question your own empowerment, your own I don't want to go so far as to say it really had you questioning your worthiness, because you're coming up as someone who's actually very stable in knowing your worth. But I do feel that You may have at some point cared a lot about what this person thought of you and how they perceived you. And this may have led you to be very confused by their hot and cold behavior here. The number 11 might be connected to this situation in some way. This person is receiving some kind of karmic consequence here because I'm hearing that they continuously were refusing to communicate with you through the heart. So not only was their third eye chakra blocked off here, preventing them from clearly seeing you for who you are in the spiritual realm, but also their heart chakra was very closed. I just see them, it's almost like the heart chakra is this like impenetrable dome, and there are these roads going around it. I'm not sure why this is kind of what I'm picking up in terms of imagery. I saw the number 555, so there could be some kind of change at play here, and I will get into that in a moment. But it's like there's these roads going around their heart. It's like they're doing everything they possibly can to bypass communicating or coming towards you through their heart space. Now, I also want to get into this person's motivations, why this is happening, a little bit of a deeper dive into their psyche, but they are coming up as the Hermit and the 10 of Pentacles reversed. So this is someone who's been feeling really alone, really isolated, and I feel that's that karmic justice. It's like they were so refusing to take that shield, that veil off of their third eye and see things clearly, and also refusing to come through their heart when they were interacting and communicating with you. And that has actually led to some negative consequences in their personal life that they now seem to be experiencing. That's what's coming up here as this karmic justice. Now, when I say karmic justice, I don't mean this in terms of revenge or anything like that. I simply mean for every action, there's a reaction. And this person choosing to act really out of alignment with their heart and to keep themselves blinded from their true intuition has naturally had this backlash energetically of putting them in a position of feeling really lonely, really isolated, and also having some possibly, I'm hearing they felt blindsided by certain negative consequences or things in their life with the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse position. So I want to know more about this masculine's motivations. Why weren't they coming through their heart? Interesting. We have door to romance and yin yang in the reverse position. This is my number 1 twin flame card in the deck. Now, of course, this doesn't necessarily mean that this has to be a twin flame connection. This also could be a very high level soulmate. So you can take those labels as they resonate. But what I will say is there's a very strong spiritual energy coming up between the two of you, which is a bit unexpected because of how it seems things have been playing out in the physical 3D world. So you might be dealing with this very complex dynamic of, I'm hearing from the beginning, you had an awareness with this person that they were meant to serve some kind of deeper spiritual purpose in your life. I saw the number 808. So that can also indicate to me a twin flame connection in some cases, because it can actually be a sign of mirroring. Just like the number 808 is mirroring itself, you and this person may mirror one another energetically, which of course is a major trademark of someone that we consider to be a twin flame, which is simply someone who carries the exact same core soul frequency as our own. Now, with door to romance upright, I feel things with this person may have actually gotten romantic very quickly. They may not have been able to help themselves or to stop themselves in the beginning. It was almost like this avalanche of energy pulling them towards you. So you may have almost felt like love bombed by this person, almost like they outpoured all of this affection towards you. And you may have wondered, was any of it real? Was any of it legitimate? Because of the way they ultimately chose to not go through their heart to connect with you, at least at this time. But the truth is, it was authentic. In fact, it was unstoppable for them. It was inevitable. It's almost like they were trying to, in the beginning, not go with the flow of that energy, but they were just pulled into it. But then once things began to settle, it's like they were able to kind of close off their heart a bit again and then start kind of bypassing around their heart space, energetically speaking. Do bear with me. It is pretty difficult at times to find physical 3D words to accurately pinpoint and describe dynamics that are just so energetically based, that are so quantum in nature. So we do the best we can here on the channel, but thank you for your patience as we're working to find the words to describe what's going on here energetically. But what I see with the thinking man, it's almost like they were so over the top romantic and showing so much affection initially that it actually caused them to get very in their head. And that's when their ego kind of swooped in. I'm seeing an eagle like swooping, and caused them to pull back really hard. That might be playing into what we've been referring to in this reading as this kind of hot and cold behavior. So now I want to know a bit more about the changes that are coming into this person's life. This could be an issue related to finances, but that won't be the case for everyone. This does feel like something material involved here. Whoever this is, they're feeling very lost when it comes to who they are on a deeper level. I'm hearing monotonous, tired. They might be feeling like they're living life on a loop, but I'm getting that it's been self-created because of how long they've not been living through their heart space. And you entered this person's life to awaken them. I feel that your connection was actually meant to open their heart, to soften their energy, and to naturally bring them into more alignment with their soul's purpose here on earth, which would have led to that 10 of Pentacles upright energy. And not only that, but to a 4 of Wands energy as well, feeling a sense of community, connectedness, stability. But instead, because they chose to keep their heart closed, they're now in a very opposite energetic state. They are experiencing these losses. Maybe even material things feel like they're going wrong. But what I'm getting as this kind of overarching message from the spirit guides here is that when you live out of alignment with your heart, things naturally start going wrong because it creates this kind of dissonant, repelling sort of frequency. Whereas living with your heart open creates the opposite effect. It creates a very magnetic, pulling, attractive, and aligning kind of frequency that naturally brings other areas of your life into alignment, even far beyond the scope of what we traditionally define as love and romance. When we live with our heart open, it actually brings all areas of our life into alignment. And that is the lesson that I feel this person is learning, but they're learning it the hard way here, because at this moment, I'm getting that you're feeling very unappreciated, maybe even just entirely misunderstood or unseen by this person. And yet, with yin yang reverse coming out here again, I literally reshuffled the entire deck and got this card again. And so once again, the complication here is there is a very strong spiritual connection, and you're most likely feeling the pull towards them. That pull might show up as longing or sadness or reflecting nostalgically on memories and things like that. And yet you have this awareness that you can't act on those feelings of pull because this is a masculine at this moment choosing not to live in alignment with their heart. Now, with that number 555 that came out earlier, which often indicates change, I am seeing that this person could be eventually or gradually changing. They might learn this lesson that's been coming up for them, but I keep hearing the guidance that it's very important for you not to overcompensate for the healing work they might not be choosing to do at the moment within themselves. So in the extended version of the reading on Patreon, I will be going deeper into future timeline potentials for this masculine's growth, healing, and expansion. So we'll be really addressing that question of whether they are likely, based on the current energy, to learn that lesson, to open their heart, and how that could affect this connection, as well as how they might be communicating with you as a result of those potential changes. So if you are interested in joining me on Patreon to channel that additional information, the link to our beautiful Patreon soul tribe is in the pinned comment and description box underneath the video. For those of you who are new here as well, I channel these collective readings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They are always live premiered here on the channel, and there's a live chat feature as well, which is my favorite part of these tri-weekly readings that we do, because during the live chat, we are all contributing our energies collectively, and that creates a kind of powerful, swirling, upgrading sort of vortex space, if you will. So thank you to all of you who are part of co-creating these readings, especially those of you listening in live. And if you do choose to join on Patreon, then you get access not only to this extended reading, but to my entire collection of previous extended reading videos as well. Okay, so as I'm tuning back into your personal energetic frequency, Divine Feminine, we have the cornucopia card, and this is connected with the crown chakra. So I'm getting some major messages coming through for you about the way in which you are manifesting, because you are someone who's been familiar with manifestation for quite a while now. I'm sensing that you've been researching spiritual topics, ideas, possibly things related to what we might call the law of attraction, the law of assumption, perhaps. And as a result of this knowledge, you really have a deep baseline understanding of how to create things in your physical material reality. But what I mean when I say that this is more about how you are manifesting, because it's a given that you know how to manifest in your life. I'm hearing that you are someone who knows how to go out and get what they want. You may have been someone who from a young age was very motivated, very driven, very vision oriented. And people might use these types of words to describe you. But now what is being highlighted for you by your guides through current life experiences isn't so much how to manifest what you desire in general. It's more so how exactly you are going about creating your reality, how exactly you are going about manifesting, meaning what kind of energy you are exuding to pull things into your reality. Because most people who are just discovering manifestation, the law of attraction, visualization, etc., are actually manifesting through the lower chakra centers. Every chakra center, and by the way, this is information that is just now coming through as a download that I know is high-level conversation, but it's really being pulled through by many of you listening. So thank you for bringing such a powerful energy to today's reading. But essentially, most people are manifesting from what we sometimes call the 3D lower vibrational levels, but what we could also refer to as the lower chakra centers here. And every chakra center creates its own magnetic energy. It exudes this kind of magnetism, but at different rates of frequency. So the root chakra moves at the slowest rate of frequency. It's a much denser, heavier kind of energy, which is why we also associate it more so with the 3D. Whereas all the way at the top, the crown chakra exudes the fastest moving, highest vibrational energy, and it's a much lighter energy. And this is why we tend to associate that more so with the 5D. And you could consider everything from the root chakra to the crown chakra being like a spectrum of energy ranging from the 3D to the 5D. With the 3D, of course, being associated more with the root and the 5D being associated more with the crown. So most people, most of us exist on this spectrum, and we can kind of vacillate between different kinds of frequencies on this spectrum. So essentially, again, most people are manifesting from the root chakra. And keep in mind that when we discuss this, there's no right or wrong way to go about manifestation. In fact, when you are just beginning to develop your spiritual gifts and abilities, or to open your mind to new concepts and ideas, it makes sense to start with root chakra level manifestation. But the thing about manifesting from the root chakra or from a very 3D based kind of energy is that it's clunky, it's very dense, and it tends to be very forced and very gradual. You also have to be very, very controlled and measured. This is the kind of manifestation that comes through a lot of what people refer to as rigid self-discipline, really hard work, but combined with kind of goal setting and visualizing here and there. But it involves a lot of struggle, a lot of force, a lot of push, because it is a heavier, denser energy. And many of us actually started at that level even in this lifetime. We've been through manifesting via those lower vibrational kinds of energies. Now, one of the downsides to manifesting through the root chakra is because it's such a dense, clunky kind of energy, it tends to miss the bigger picture. So when we're so focused on the root, on the material, we oftentimes overlook things like how our intuition is guiding us, what our core truth and our core values are, as well as that overarching sense of spiritual mission and purpose in our lives that we tend to connect with the crown chakra. We can even become so focused on that density and that push and control that we miss our heart space, which is still closer to the root than the crown chakra is. But still, when we're so focused on manifesting exclusively through the 3D, through the root chakra, we often miss connecting with others as deeply through the heart. It's like we're making a sacrifice to manifest these things by ignoring what our heart is kind of telling us or how our intuition is guiding us. So again, it's still where most people start when it comes to manifestation. It's kind of level one, if you will, but we aren't really meant to stay there because we're meant to evolve beyond that level. Now, with the sacral chakra, when we manifest through sacral energy, just kind of moving up here, this is more revolving around intimacy, around being really present with ourselves in the moment. And of course, it's very important to have an open sacral chakra because this helps us to create. When we're manifesting through the sacral, we tend to be putting a bit more creative energy and vision into our manifestations. But again, we can still become so focused on those lower chakras that we aren't as connected to our heart space. So as we work our way up to the solar plexus, this is the seat of our self-worth and confidence. So this is where we start altering our core self-perception. And this can be really powerful because here is where we're often using things like self-visualization, like affirmations to really shift how we view ourselves and how we show up and interact with others in the world. And this shifting of our self-perception, again, it like adds to the picture here as we reach that level, so to speak, and helps us to manifest in a more balanced way. But we keep going now because we're getting to the heart space, which connects the lower chakras to the upper chakras. Essentially, the heart is what connects 3D to 5D. So when we stay connected to our heart space, it allows us to access those higher level vibrations and those higher powers, in a sense, within ourselves to manifest from the 5D, to manifest in a more effortless, magnetic kind of way that's really aligned with our core values, with our connectedness to others and to the divine, to our own higher self, to a higher spiritual mission and purpose. And so we could really do a whole video about manifesting through the different chakra centers, but just to kind of skip ahead here to the crown, this is where you are at. So you've already mastered everything I've been talking about. You've mastered living in the moment, creating, channeling that creative sacral energy, while at the same time staying grounded in your root. But you've also mastered shifting your perception of yourself. In fact, I'm hearing this is something you can now do at will because you recognize yourself as this very fluid being that you are. You do not identify as much with your human self anymore as with your soul's true higher identity. You are able to wear many masks in a sense. You're almost like a shapeshifter in the physical world because you're capable of putting on the mask you need to in the moment, meaning kind of putting on that aspect of your human self that is best serving your current physical environment, while at the same time realizing that the mask isn't you in your entirety. It's one aspect of you. It's one face of some kind of a multifaceted or really unlimited faceted object of sorts. And at the same time, I feel that recently you've been really opening up your third eye chakra, learning how to follow that intuition and those impulses, even when they don't fully make sense to you. And all of that mastery has propelled you into this. I'm hearing it's really a gift. The gift that you can only access by having mastered everything that you've gone through here, everything we've just described, which has now allowed you to unlock this level of manifesting through the crown chakra, which means manifesting in this kind of divine alignment with your own soul and higher purpose, where you are, without even necessarily needing to specifically define every single goal and objective, you're able to kind of flow with the divine rhythm of your life, knowing that and trusting that you are moving in alignment with essentially your highest vibrational timeline, where all of those ideal trajectories are already laid out in front of you in harmony with one another as you keep taking that next step forward. This is also the realm of what we sometimes call instant manifestation. So being able to manifest so quickly and effortlessly that from an external perspective, at times it can look like you are manifesting things almost instantaneously. You might think of something and then suddenly someone brings it up in conversation with you. It's almost like you're becoming very telepathic in a sense, or you're radiating such a powerful energetic signal that it's being received so quickly and so clearly by the people and environments around you that it's bringing in your intentions much more quickly into your physical reality. So this also means that you are encountering many people who are still at level 1 or level 2, so to speak. Of course, it's not as simple as just these labeled levels, but this is just one way to kind of conceptualize it. And when you encounter these others who are essentially still wearing their training wheels or learning how to manifest from these lower levels, you have an awareness that they would not be capable of necessarily receiving the fullest extent of your knowledge and your wisdom that you've cultivated, because they're going to have to master all of those levels themselves before it would make sense to them. And in fact, we've talked about this before, but you can tell when you are getting into that mode of trying to share with someone something that would be so valuable and helpful to them if they were at the level where they were capable of hearing it and receiving it. But people are at different levels. They live in different worlds and paradigms. So you are also learning this level of discernment that allows you to better read when someone is ready to receive a certain kind of information and when they are not. This also means that you cannot compare your journey to anyone else's, especially at this time. You cannot compare your methods to anyone else's. There really is no comparison. You might have certain methods and things that work for you manifestation-wise or in your life that you feel so passionate about and aligned with and excited about. But at the same time, those same methods might not work for someone who's still at that level 1 of manifestation, so to speak, who's still manifesting dominantly through the 3D or through more so those lower chakra centers. And the reverse is true as well, because sometimes you may encounter others who are sharing about the methods that are working for them at that current level that they are at. But for you, that method would be like trying to run a computer program for a computer created in 2005 on a computer that was created in 2024. It would not function on that upgraded system. It wouldn't work, not because there's something wrong with the newer computer, but because that system is not designed to handle that outdated program. It's the same way with your mind and your energy. You aren't capable of running outdated programs anymore. Even programs that used to work for you when you were still in that level yourself before you expanded out of it. That is why it's so being highlighted right now as the guides are coming through, how essential it is to never compare your journey to someone else's, to never look at someone else, how they're succeeding, what they're doing to get that kind of success or whatever you are defining as success, because of course we all have very different definitions of success, but to never attempt to replicate or duplicate necessarily what someone else is doing at their level, because you are operating at an entirely different level and your greatest breakthroughs are going to come from within yourself. That is why instead of that cross comparison, really internal self-connection, meditating, connecting with your inner world and your inner guidance is your compass to your own next breakthroughs and next successes. Again, however you are choosing to personally define those things. Now, this reading has taken such an interesting turn, but I felt that so many of those messages really wanted to come out here today. So I really hope that was beneficial to someone along your journey. If so, let me know in the comments under the video. Now, I will be carrying this over to Patreon, so we will be looking at some more interpersonal relationship related things on Patreon. So we will be diving into your aura and any energies, people, or things that might be connecting with your aura or with your energy at this time. So this could be people thinking or feeling things very strongly about you potentially. And we'll also be channeling any further messages from your spirit guides, your higher self, whatever divine forces you personally connect with, because clearly the guides have been extremely talkative today about what you need to know regarding your current manifestations and your current journey. So a huge thank you again to all of you who are here tuned into the reading. These are such co-creative processes, and I am so appreciative to you as a co-creator here. So the card I pulled from the Rumi Oracle is Sacred Union, which is very interesting because although we were talking about a potential high-level soulmate or twin flame near the beginning of this reading, up through about halfway through the reading, we really got into many deep personal path-related kinds of messages. So I'm surprised to see this Sacred Union card coming up here, but I feel something from the guidebook is really going to tie it together. Only the oneness of love and the lover is eternal. Surrender your heart into this union, for all else in this world is momentary. Rumi. And the guidebook also says, stupefied with bliss, I become one without thought. There is no grief in that loss. I gladly surrender my intelligence in favor of this mindlessness. It is ecstasy, rapture. The sweetness of the union so sacred overwhelms my senses. The lover and the beloved are my world. Nothing else exists except this love, this unity of divine masculine and feminine, and the fresh new spirit that shall be born from this sacred conjoining. This oracle comes to you as a portent, a sign of that which is to come, and also as a confirmation of your spiritual journey thus far. You have been working to surrender attachment to plans and how you think things should go. Instead, you have intended to show up for what it is, to seek out the genius of life through unconditional acceptance, instead of judging and fearing, resisting what is, as though it were a big mistake, perhaps caused by ignorance within. No, you do not seek to hide from love anymore. You have been learning, step by step, how to embrace it and allow it to embrace you. The divine cannot resist your beauty, so keep going with that sacred surrender. Keep believing in the inner healing path you are traveling with such success. Wow, that really did seem to pull things together. So again, thank you so much for tuning into the reading. I'm going to go ahead and leave things here for now, but of course, we will be continuing on in our Patreon community. So if you would like to join me there next, the link to do so will be under the video. Otherwise, I am sending you all so much love today. Have a beautiful start to your week, and I will connect with you here again in Wednesday's reading.